Hello guys, good evening. I, Annapurna K.S. Murugan from BYJU'S Exam Prep would like to welcome you all for this session. I hope so everyone is doing good, great. So for this week, yes, do you know today's agenda is what? Or today what we are going to study. So today we are going to work on the most common questions that we are going to encounter on critical reasonings. So now you people would be knowing like critical reasoning is also termed as logical reasoning, and you guys know that. So you basically have one complete section on this logical reasoning questions. In our previous classes you would have learned about what are the different types of questions that we have. So in continuation to that, today I am going to work on assumption based questions. Okay, so come on guys, let us see. So what is this? So today we are going to talk about assumption based questions. What do we mean by assumption? But before that, let me remind you people, let me make you people to again recall some of the important factors that we have in reasoning questions. First of all, you need to identify argument, right? So what you need to do, you need to identify the argument, and in that argument itself we call it as conclusion, right? So what do we be calling this argument as? The conclusion. And this conclusion tend to happen by one immediate reason, and that immediate reason is nothing but your premise. That means this is the strong supporter for the conclusion to happen. I guess you people have seen our last classes where, so in fact you people have even understood what exactly the deconstruction of critical reasoning arguments is all about. Okay, so there we basically deconstructed the argument. We first of all found out what is conclusion, why this conclusion has come out, that is your premise, and for these premises to occur, so we have background, and then ultimately we may have counter premise as well. So the name itself indicates what is this counter premise. The counter premise is nothing but it is an idea that will not support the conclusion. That means that will not take the decision to happen, allow the decision to happen. That is called as counter premise. This is very basic to your logic reasoning questions. But however, so you people discussed few questions, but today I am going to work on assumption based family questions. That means what? Basically, if you see like we will be having three categories of questions. So, and from any of these categories you will be getting, in fact from all the three categories you will be getting questions on your main exam, right? So now let us try to understand the second category. Let us see what are the different types of questions that we are going to get under second category and what exactly it is based on and what we need to do. So let us understand here. Now, if you see here, let me give you a little bit idea of structure based questions. Under structure based questions, you need to identify the conclusion and you need to identify the role between the two bold-faced sentences, and also you need to tell what is the kind of argument that is happening. So these three things should be said, and how these three things are checked? They are checked on the questions in the form of determine the conclusion or identify the conclusion, then describe the role questions and describe the argument questions. In this you have learned few of them will be taught to you in further classes. So for that you have to stay logged in, isn't it? So now let us understand the majority of the questions, they come from this assumption based questions, and in fact these are very commonly found in our exams also. They are the majority one, like so what are those, means they are called as assumptions. What do you mean by assumption? Assumption, when like we, on every idea we'll have an assumption, isn't it? So now you people are preparing for CLAT exam. Okay, what you are preparing? You are preparing for CLAT exam, right? What is the assumption behind the preparation of the CLAT exam? You will think that you can crack, because you can crack the exam because you are preparing for the exam. That means you are working on the exam module, so with the professional help. Hence what happens, you people can crack the exam. This is what the assumption that is there. See, because you won't tell every time, oh, I can crack the exam because I am taking classes and I am preparing, so and I will be giving. Okay, so you won't be saying that. So why you have joined the classes? So the reason is you want to give the CLAT exam. Giving the CLAT exam is the reason because of which you join the classes. Okay, but what is the assumption behind this? What is the assumption behind this? The assumption is that yes, joining classes can help you with cracking the exam. So that is the assumption that is there in our mind. Okay, so now you saw this. The assumption is basically what? It is an unsaid what? Tell me, what is that unsaid? I said, so this classes will help you to crack the exam. Our main conclusion was joining the class. Why we wanted to join the class? We have to crack the exam. So that means what? It is containing both conclusion as well as the premise, and in fact, so it will help us to crack the this one, CLAT exam. What does that means? It is like unsaid premise. So that means it is an element that is adding on to the conclusion of the author. So that means what? What is this assumptions? Usually, no matter what kind of assumption it is, but it will be related to your conclusion as well as your premise. That means whenever you people see the assumption, how can you identify this assumption? The assumption could only be identified, so if it is having the essence of conclusion also and the premise also, right? If these two things or either of them is missing or it is what is that, negated, then that will not at all be your assumptions. Okay, so now I guess you people have the idea of assumption, but let us start understanding what are the basic questions that we are going to get under this assumption type. Yes, find the assumption, that is very common. In fact, if you people have this one practiced, you would have seen these questions very commonly coming in. And also you have strengthened the argument. Now, strengthening the argument. I'll give you very nice examples for strengthening and weakening. General example. Strengthen means what? You have to support. You need to give some this one premises, so which will support yes. So on the given condition, the conclusion will tend to happen. That means strengthening is supporting, right? But we have the same thing. What is that? Weaken the conclusion. Guys, weaken the conclusion. Weakening in the sense what? So we are making something to tumble down, isn't it? So here we need to prove that author's conclusion on the given information, it is not justifiable. That means, so it cannot happen. So author's conclusion can never happen. So keeping all the given conditions in the this one, right, with reference. So therefore this is weakening. Evaluate the argument. You have to evaluate whether the given argument is sound or not. Okay, so that has to be evaluated, and then finding the flaw or the discrepancy question, that again consider like our premise as well as so our conclusion into reference here. So these are the 5 types of questions. Let's see today how many types of questions that we can solve. Okay, first of all, I want you people to like today, firstly we are going to solve assumption based questions. So when you are doing any type of questions on critical reasoning, so first, yeah, generally I need you people to have the main idea. Wolf, I can say it as, so get the main argument of the passage, right? So get the main argument of the passage, and along with that, so why this argument has happened, that means the main premise you people get it, and try to differentiate the premise from your background. That is very, very, very important. Okay, and then what you need to, that means basically I am trying to tell you people, try to understand the summary. Don't get confused now. Ma'am, what is this? In reading we had to find summary. Now what are these things? So whatever I am right now saying also, it is nothing but in our layman word, it is the summary that we need to get. Okay, so now what happens, once you have the fair idea about what the passage is all about, what you can do, so you can get back to the question. Now in the question, let me tell you guys 2 types of questions. I keep repeating certain things. Why? Because I want you people to very dominantly know these ideas. 2 types of questions we'll have. One is overall reasoning question, another one is so idea specific reading question. So idea specific, so your critical reading questions. Okay, so overall though, from summary you people can get, right, overall, that means overall one argument will be there, and that argument will happen due to certain reason. So and that is your overall premise, and ultimately like this you people will have so overall. Whereas in particular, just like our specific detailed question, here from the paragraph they will be picking up certain statements, certain ideas as the argument, and they will be constructing question on them, and that's called as idea specific thing. So therefore here what you need to do, you need to not approach the complete of the paragraph, but you need to refer to that particular thing there. So now I have picked up some of the specific detailed paragraph. That means there are many paragraphs in whichever the paragraph I have picked up, but I have picked up only one part of it, so on which we have given you one question. So now whenever you have this paragraph, kindly identify the conclusion, then premise, deconstruction, and then background, and then ultimately if we have counter premise, kindly identify. Okay, so let us start understanding the thing, but here before understanding or reading through this, I would like to tell you guys one thing. Please, when you are reading, don't try to include or use your general knowledge with regards to the same. If you have no assumptions, no what is that, faltu assumptions when you are doing. Only if they ask you assumption on a particular question in a particular manner, then we are doing the assumption. Otherwise, nowhere overall 360-degree thinking we are not supposed to do here. So let us try to understand and identify what is our conclusion here. Since the passage of the States Clean Air Act 10 years ago, that means a passage on this 10 years ago, the level of industrial pollutants in the air has fallen by the average of 18%. That means what? So because of some states clean act, okay, what has happened? So the percentage of the air pollution, it has fallen by 18%. See, it is more of what is the sentence stating. The sentence is basically giving us something that has happened or that has observed. Okay, so therefore anything that is observed or anything that is basically the fact or universal truth, we don't take them as a conclusion. You people know, because what is conclusion? Conclusion is kind of decision that we are taking, isn't it? So therefore what these things cannot be our conclusion, rather they can be either background or premise in some case. So I'll keep it aside because it is not, it is just giving us some wider picture about the thing. Okay, so some act, it has reduced the air pollution, remember that. Then so this suggests, okay, this particular thing suggests that restrictions on industry embodied in the act have worked effectively. That means what? This shows that whatever, like what is that restriction that was on the industrial bodies, that have worked very well. So here it is giving us the claim. Okay, what is that? There is a claim in itself. Claim in the sense it is kind of judgment, okay, which can be conclusion, but let us see what is the main conclusion here. It is sounding like, because that they are giving us the decision, oh, whatever the restrictions imposed on industry, that actually worked effectively. Why? Because the this one, air pollution has come down by 18%. Okay, so we have a doubt here. However, oh, transition word, I usually talk about transition words everywhere, right? So why? Because they are very crucial. See, they are saying that this has acted well, the restriction has acted well in the control of pollution. However is there, that means there is some loophole there. Okay, let us understand what is that loophole. During the same period, the state has also suffered through a economic, wow. Not only this, there is one more observation. So pollution has come down due to restrictions on industries, while so there is a fall in the economic also. There is a cut down on a economic. Yeah, this is a worrisome. The number of business in the states has fallen by 10%. Population also, there was a industrial regulation thing, because of which pollution has come down. Not only pollution, even this one economic drawback also has happened, as the businesses has come down by 10%. And the number of workers employed has fallen by 12%. Even the workers, the strength of the workers also has come down, and the strength of the this one, what is that, businesses also has come down. It is probably that the business, this is like a observation, so it sounds like a background. Why? Because they are observing and telling the things. See, why I am deconstructing the paragraph? Because I want you people to understand how we are going to deconstruct. Okay, so we have a kind of claim here, but the rest of it post that will be your observation, which is again our, what is that I can say, so our background. It is probable that the businesses decline rather than the regulation in the act is responsible for at least half of the decline in the pollution. Now they are giving us the claim. What is it saying? There in the first part they said that, so this restrictions could be the reason for the drop down of what is that? So the pollution, that means air quality increased because there was a restriction on the industrial thing. Okay, so but now here what is that they are saying? They set up one this one situation where it is showed that the number of workers and the industries because of regulations has come down. So therefore, author is claiming that it is not the regulations which has brought down the pollution, because many businesses are not working. what it is, many businesses not working. So because of this pollution has come down. Okay, it is not the regulation. They are saying whatever the act of regulation, so that is not affecting, because so the companies are closed, the businesses are closed. That is the main reason behind the decline in pollution. Now what is that you people need to tell here? You need to pick up the assumption. What are the assumptions that we can have? We can say that, so even though we have an act that is basically tying the hands of businesses, but so we also simultaneously absorb the fact that the pollution has come down. So the act is not allowing the businesses to happen. Because the business is not happening, number of people working there has come down, because according to the background only what is happening, our pollution has come down. Now, so that is what the author is saying. It is not just the act. Just because of this act, no business happen. Because no business happen, we don't have people and industries working on. So that is why the pollution has come down. It is not your, what is that? The act. It is because the businesses are not working. That is the conclusion she has given. So that means, yes, when the industries are not running, from where the pollution will come? Isn't it? The pollution will not come there. So keeping this as your shadow answer, now check out what should be the best answer. What should be the best answer? Now, see, here they are asking which of the following basically is an assumption so made in the passage. Okay, so here they are saying most businesses in the state have obeyed the regulations embodied in the clean air market. Can you take this assumption? Most businesses. Okay, if most businesses obeyed, so what is that? Rules of the act. How does that shows that our industries are the key responsible for this one? And whether it is giving you the essence of both of them. What is that? This one, what was the conclusion? The conclusion was that, so the pollution has come down because the decrease in the industry. It is not the act, because many industries are not working. Whether that is giving us the thing, because they obeyed in the sense what? Obeyed, which is not equal to closing of the industry, isn't it? So therefore you are not able to get your conclusion. So from there, so therefore you can take out A. Now the economic decline of state can be attributed in part to the effects of the Clean Air Act. Yeah, are they talking here? What is the conclusion? We should always target the conclusion. When you are taking up the assumption, yes, you need to take up why that conclusion, what does that conclusion is making you to feel here. So here we are not focusing on economic decline. So, and also we are not trying to say which comes under what. That is not our problem. What is our problem? So it is not the act that is stopping the pollution. It is because the industries are not there. That is the reason it is happening here. Okay. So therefore this is not justifying that act. Now if you take one more. So the amount of air pollution in a given area is likely to be proportional to the number of businesses and workers active in that area. Don't you think this is supporting, this is justifying our conclusion here? That means in whichever area, how many businesses are there, how many workers are there, that will be proportional to the pollution. That means what? If the number of this one businesses, and number of people are I. Okay, if they are I, so then we can say what? So the pollution also will high. So if it is low, then pollution will also be low. That is what they are saying in our paragraph. That means it is obeying this particular idea. So therefore we can keep C. But however, let us check other things also. The restriction on business activities in other states. It is not we are not concerned about other states. Let us take it out. These are the silly mistakes that you people can just take them out. The Clean Air Act has been only we have extreme ideas. No superlatives, no extreme ideas, nothing. So therefore, we can take out the things here. And also only very slightly successful in achieving the goal of, our main thing is not talking about so whether we have achieved or not. Their claim is businesses are the main cause for pollution. Whether that thing can be justified out of these things, yes, we have only one option that can justify, and what is that? This option. Getting it? I hope you people understood this thing. Let us quickly go on to next question. Okay. So here also let us identify what is the conclusion, what is premise and what is background, and if at all if we have any kind of counter premises, we can work on them as well. So now, two groups of laboratory mice were injected with cancerous, this is observation, therefore we can keep it as background. One group cages were rotated, this year something they are doing, they are one group of the cages, they have rotated in a very disoriented manner, just randomly they are spinning them. 2/3 of these mice developed cancer, which means the rotated cages mice got 2/3 of cancer. But both the set of mice were injected with cancerous cell. That means cage 1 and cage 2. You think cage 1 is the distorted one, I mean disoriented one by this one, what is that, dwindling them. 2/3 of, and among them what they did, so they saw that 2/3 were cancerous. So now 1/10 of the mice in stationary, other place we have a stationary this one, and in that we saw only 1/10 of mice being cancer. But you see, for all the cats they have, for all the rats they have injected the cancer cells. Okay, so that means the probability of getting should be weak. But in one cage which was disturbed, disorientated, so in that the number of cancer cases are more, while in the other part, so which is where the cage is stationary, there what is happening, this one is less. Okay, the number of cases that has come out with cancer is less. So now the researchers conclude that stretch enhances the development of this one. So from this, what is the thing there, what is the proof that they are saying? The stress basically induces the cancer. That means cancer is usually caused by stress. Okay, that is what they wanted to prove here. So this is the conclusion. The number, basically looking at the number, we can decide that this conclusion could be taken. So therefore number, it is premise, and rest of the thing, it is background here. Now let us try to see what is the question on. The question is again asking us, the researcher's conclusion logically depends on which of the following assumptions. So if you see here, what is that we have? So what is that? They had said it is the this one, what is that? Disorientation. The stress is causing. See where that thing is happening. So you people can see the thing and tell me what should be the answers. Rotating this produce the stress. So basically out of this, what is happening, you can see that rotating the cages in a disorienting manner is the thing, because that is the main that is the difference now when we have two cages here. So what is the difference happening? Both of them injected with cancerous cell. Only the thing is, this is rotated in a disoriented manner, this is stable. So that means this disorientation is causing the stress. So the conclusion is saying that only. Therefore, what we can assume that, so yes, because of stress, the conclusion is stress causes your cancer. But what is the stress there? The cage is disoriented, the cage is rotated disorientedly. So therefore, A should be the answer. Right. I hope you guys understood what assumptions are. So now, for the next type of questions, stay logged in for our tomorrow's class. And also guys, we have one Google form in our description box. Kindly fill in that so that our counselors will contact you, and if required, you will be allowed to speak to our mentors and will help out in your CLAT exam preparations. Thank you guys. Until then, bye. Take care.